First and foremost, I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahushai, Bahashim, Rakhakwadash. Yahweh is the name of who this world ignorantly calls God. Yahushai is the name of who this world ignorantly calls Jesus. Bahashim means in the name, Rakha means spirit, and Kwadash means holy. And that's all in the Paleo Hebrew. I also want to give double honors to the honored bishops and apostles of Great Millstone that taught me this truth. Today's lesson, I wanted to go into how Halloween Judgment, right, and Pagan origins, how I have it titled, right, but bring out a couple news articles, right, bringing out the judgment that's been going on, right, to these people celebrating this pagan day, okay, and go into the origins. Where does this day come from, right? When did this start? How did this start, right? And show you that this is nothing but witchcraft, okay? And Israel, right? The nation of Israel is not supposed to be following any of these days, right? We're not supposed to be like the other nations, okay? We're supposed to be holy and set apart, and the only way we can do that is by following the law, statutes, and commandments, okay? And on part of that judgment, I made this video last year, right? Same time, and it was one of the first videos I made, right? Because I remember hearing a brother go into the point on how on these wicked days, right, on your Christmases, your Halloweens, your Thanksgivings, your New Year's, right, on those type of days is when you have judgment, right, going rampant, okay? That's when you have your mass shootings, right? Shootings all over the earth is when it's mostly, primarily on these days, okay? And I bet you can go through all the history of mass shootings, okay? And you'll find that on all these days, you have a spike, okay? And that reason is that on these days that you have all this pagan worship is when these demons, right, these spirits are really active, okay? Because when you go out there, right, you put on a demon outfit, or you put on some type of outfit, all you're doing is tapping into these spirits, man, okay? That puts a certain type of spirit on you, and people, they just start bugging out, okay? Because what you have to understand is that just how we have the exact same way we have angels is the exact same way we have demons, okay? And when you're all into this pagan worship, right, worshiping to idols, right, false gods, that's just nothing but demons jumping into you, right? That's nothing but demons making your sacrifices come true, right? Because you have to remember that you can sacrifice to Satan, and he'll make things happen, right? That's why you have all this brujeria, right? Over there in Cuba, Puerto Rico, you have Santeria, right? You have these people offering to just straight spirits, man. And you will see shit happen because those spirits are real. But back to the point is that on these days, right, when these people, right, unknowingly worship to these spirits, right, judgment, ultimately starts going rampant. And you'll see mass shootings, okay? You'll see shit go down, okay? And that's exactly what happened this weekend because a lot of people, right, took it upon themselves to celebrate their wickedness, right, their Halloween wickedness over the weekend, right, because Halloween landed on a Tuesday. So they did all their wickedness on a Tuesday, and here it is, mass shootings. And here it is, the 31st, right? People are going to go out there again on the same bullshit, and I bet you we're going to see more judgment, okay? And it's a common trend, right? Common trend I picked up in the faith right off the bat, one of my first videos. And I came in the faith around last year, around June, July, around there is when I first heard about this, came into the truth, okay? And ever since then, I've been making videos on these days, man. Same video topic, right? Judgment and origins. Going into the news articles and bringing out why you're not supposed to be doing this. But let's get into it. Jeremiah chapter 10 tells us clearly, right, straight off the bat. Jeremiah chapter 10 and verse 1. Hear ye the word which Yahweh speaketh unto you, O house of Israel. Thus saith the Lord, learn not the way of the heathen, and be not dismayed at the signs of heaven, for the heathen are dismayed at them. Okay, we're not supposed to be out here like these other nations. Okay, we're not supposed to be out here wearing no damn dreadlocks, smoking weed like the other nations. Right? That's also pagan worship. Right? You can look into it. Right? The dress goes into Shiva Jadas, right? Which I think it was Shiva, right? Had snakes, right, as her hair. Okay, and that's where you get dreadlocks from, right? And they said that Shiva used to smoke weed. And that's why these jakes out here smoke weed and have dreads. Okay, look it up. Okay, but people unknowingly, right, they follow the ways of the other nations because ultimately we're through. Ultimately, we've been scattered through all four corners to serve gods that are made out of wood and stone, right? This is part of our punishment. But also part of our punishment, part of this story is that we're going to wake up, right, and put that off, right? Once you wake up to the knowledge that you're an Israelite, you're supposed to stop celebrating your birthday, right? Stop celebrating Halloween, Christmas, Thanksgiving, New Year's, right? Because these are all the ways of the heathen, right? Of the other nations. And we've been told right here, right? We're not supposed to be doing that. And it says, be not dismayed at the signs of heaven. What are the signs of heaven? The blood moons, the super moons, the chariots, the so-called UFOs, which are the angels, right? The heathen, they look at that, they're like, oh my God, what is that? Right? But through the Spirit, right, we know what they are. And we know that those are the vehicles that are going to come and save us. Whether you want to believe it or not, it's in the scriptures. Okay, Ezekiel, the first chapter, goes into that. Right? And verse 3 goes into Christmas. Right? Because Christmas is nothing but pagan worship. Right? Another pagan day. Goes back to Nimrod. You're actually worshiping his balls and his rod. Right? If you get what I'm saying. His balls and his rod. Okay, you have the balls on the tree and his rod straight sticking up, erect. Right? Verse 3 goes into it. For the customs of the people are vain. For one cutteth a tree out of the forest, the work of the hands of the workmen with the axe. They deck it with silver and with gold. They fasten it with nails and with hammers that move it not. Right? What is it that talking about? It's talking about that damn tree. Right? What's that song? Deck the halls with... Man, I can't even remember it. It's been so long. I'm not even about to embarrass myself. But you know the song. Right? Deck the. Yeah, that one. Going into decking the tree with silver and gold. Right? It says they are upright as the palm tree, but speak not. They must need be born because they cannot go. Be not afraid of them, for they cannot do evil, neither also it is in them to do good. Okay? Going into how, hey, you worshiping that tree, man, that ain't gonna bring you salvation. Right? You're completely through. Because, hey, that's something these people are gonna realize is that, hey, yo, Shiva, right, your Allah, right, your Buddha, right, your Jesus Christ, white Jesus Christ, hey, when calamity comes, that God ain't gonna save you, right? He ain't gonna come to your salvation, and you're gonna be looking out here real through, man, real through. Okay, but the point is verse 2. Learn not the way of the heathen. We're not supposed to be out here celebrating no damn Halloween. Okay? And let's get into a little bit of the origins. Right? I had this article here. Right? The origins of Halloween traditions. And it says, carving pumpkins, trick-or-treating, and wearing scary costumes are some of the time-honored traditions of Halloween. Yet the Halloween holiday has its roots in the ancient Celtic festival of Samhain, a Gaelic word pronounced Samhain, a pagan religious celebration to welcome the harvest at the end of summer, when people would light bonfires and wear costumes to ward off ghosts. Okay? And I bet you could read this to a million people and they'll tell you, damn, I didn't even know the costumes were to ward off ghosts. Right? Because you just follow whatever these people tell you. Right? Completely lost. It says in the 8th century, Pope Gregory III designated November 1st as a time to honor saints. Soon after, All Saints' Day came to incorporate some of the traditions of Samhain. The evening before All Saints' Day was known as Hallows Eve and later Halloween. Okay, so here it is that you had Pope Gregory kind of bring this into play. Which shows you that, hey, the church is nothing but witchcraft. Right? Nothing but witchcraft built upon lies. Never in the scriptures that tells you you're supposed to be worshiping no damn Halloween. Okay? It says the tradition of carving jack-o'-lanterns originated in Ireland using turnips instead of pumpkins. It is allegedly based on a legend about a man named Stingy Jack, who repeatedly trapped the devil and only let him go on the condition that Jack would never go to hell. But when Jack died, he learned that heaven did not want his soul either, so he was forced to wander the earth as a ghost for eternity. The devil gave Jack a burning lamp of coal in a carved-out turnip to light his way. locals eventually began carving scary faces into their own turnips to frighten away evil spirits. Okay, and just a little, it's a cunningly devised fable, right? Cunningly devised fable with that whole hell doctrine, which is nothing but lies also. There's no such thing as hell. Okay, let's just read a little bit more. This is a long article. I'm not going to read all this. But it says, the festival of Samhain marked the transition to the new year at the end of the harvest and beginning of the winter. Celtic people believed that during the festival, spirits walked the earth. Okay, and that's a key point that I was going into, right? During these festivals, during these pagan days, right, you have spiritual activity, right, cranked the hell up. Okay, you have sacrifices through the roof, right? The elites doing the wickedness, okay, sacrificing to Satan during this entire month, right? They've been going hard on those sacrifices, right? Straight witchcraft. Okay, and that's why on these days, right, throughout this month, shit's been happening. It's because the elites, hey, they have their times to level up, right, on the left-hand side. But it says, Celtic people believe that during the festival, spirits walk the earth. Later on, Christian missionaries introduced All Souls Day on November 2, which perpetuated the idea of the living coming into contact with the dead around the same time of year. Right, another cut to these Christians, right, bringing in a pagan holiday, right, completely through. Okay, and you best believe, right, you can definitely see spirits sometimes, right? There's videos out there where you see spirits, man. People catch spirits, right, just passing through the camera, right? And a lot of people will say, oh, that's Photoshop, oh, that's edited. But the fact is that demons and spirits are real. Okay, some of these videos are actually real. Okay, that shit happens all the time, especially on these types of days. Okay, it says, in order to avoid being terrorized by all the evil spirits walking the earth during Samhain, the Celts donned disguises so that they would not be mistaken for spirits themselves and be left alone. Okay, and ultimately, all that's counterintuitive. Right, when you put those masks on, when you put those Freddy Krueger masks on, all you're doing is putting more spirits on you. All you're doing is becoming a Freddy Krueger. Okay? Well, let's see. Let's just read this one more. The first paragraph, it says, there's much debate around the origins of trick-or-treating, but generally there are three theories. The first theory suggests that during Samhain, Celtic people would leave food out to appease the spirits traveling the earth at night, right? Like I said, worshiping devils, worshiping spirits. Okay, these people are doing this unknowingly, thinking, "Oh yeah, I'm just giving these kids chocolate. I'm doing this and this," but in actuality, you're out here worshiping spirits. All right, it says over time, people began to dress as these unearthly beings in exchange for similar offerings of food and drink. Right. The second theory speculates that the candy boom stems from the Scottish practice of guising, which is a secular version of souling. During the Middle Ages, generally, children and poor adults would collect food and money from local homes in return for prayers for the dead on All Souls Days. Slovakia. Geisers dropped the prayers in favor of non-religious practices with the inclusion of songs, jokes, and other tricks. A third theory argues that modern American trick-or-treating stems from bells nickeling, a German-American Christmas tradition where children would dress in costume and then call on their neighbors to see if the adults could guess the identities of the disguised. And that's just completely true, right? The first one is what's really going on, right? Through the spirit, I can tell you, this first one is what's really going on. Okay, but that's the point on that, is that this is all pagan, right? This is all pagan. And it ultimately goes back to a witchcraft, right? None but witchcraft. And you could read this article, right? It goes all into it. I just searched up Halloween pagan origins, and it came up. Let's get back to the scriptures. Let's read a couple more and then get into the news. Leviticus chapter 18. And I'll start at verse 1. It says, And Yahweh spake unto Moses, saying, Speak unto the children of Israel, and say unto them, I am Yahweh your God. After the doings of the land of Egypt wherein ye dwelt, shall ye not do. And after the doings of the land of Canaan, which I bring you, shall ye not do, neither shall you walk in their ordinances. Okay? We're not supposed to be out here acting like the Americans, right? Like the Edomites. We're not supposed to be out here acting like the Chinese, right? The Moabites. Acting like the Arabs, which are the Ishmaelites. Okay, we're not supposed to be out here acting like all the other nations because we are Israel. Okay, we are the only nation on earth that the Lord has gave strict commandment on how to live. Right? Has gave a strict commandment. You are supposed to do this, 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 and that. Okay, and the reason for that is that we are supposed to be an example unto the other nations. Right? There's a scripture going into that how all the other nations are supposed to look at us, right, following the law, statutes, and commandments and be like, damn, right? These people are very wise, right? The way they do these things, hey, they're very wise, right? They should be looking up to us, okay? But since we didn't follow his ways, right, like we've done throughout all the generations, right, stiff-necked, since we didn't follow his ways, now we're in this predicament where we have to talk about not going after Halloween, not going into Christmas, okay, and ultimately talking about following Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shah again, right, the law, statutes, and commandments. But as it says, right, any land that we went to, we were not to follow their ways. It says, verse 4, ye shall do my judgments and keep mine ordinances to walk therein. I am Yahweh, your God. Ye shall therefore keep my statutes and my judgments, which a man do, he shall live in them. I am Yahweh. Okay? And he told you clearly what we are supposed to do. Right? And these laws, they were only made with the Israelites. Right? The seed line of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. That's the only people Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shah is dealing with. So knowing you're an Israelite, hey, that's a special thing. Right? Just knowing the fact you're an Israelite is a very special thing. And we should be taking that, hey, not with a grain of salt. Right? I'll put it like that. Right? This is a precious thing. Right? The most valuable knowledge on the earth. Okay? And just, man, when you really get into it, knowing you're an Israelite and actually following, right, Yahweh Shai, right, seeking for salvation, man, this is a blessing, right? You have to give thanks every single day that you can understand these words and understand what's going on in the world, right? Because we're in some times where this truth, right, is the only thing that's gonna matter. Right? And I've been really harping on that point, harping on the point of you gotta lock in, because we're at the end and nothing else matters, right? Stop celebrating goddamn Halloween, goddamn Christmas, right? Because I'm gonna show you how you're about to end up. Let's get that. Halloween, dead. Okay? Halloween dead. Halloween weekend shootings across U.S. leave at least 11 dead, scores injured. Mass shootings in the U.S. leave at least 11 dead, 76 injured. Okay? And look, right? Let's look at all the shootings that happened over the weekend. Okay? It says the weekend before Halloween saw a spate of deadly mass shootings in several U.S. cities that left at least 11 people dead and 76 others injured. According to data from the nonprofit Gun Violence Archive, between Friday and Sunday, 12 mass shootings took place. Okay? And go and watch my video I made last year, right? Going into Halloween Judgment. And you'll see it's the same exact thing. Okay, the same exact thing. It says between Friday and Sunday, 12 mass shootings took place. The GVA reported as of Sunday evening. The GVA defines mass shootings as when at least 4 people. Right, so they got a condition on mass shootings. Right, it could be Jakes out here, right, just killing 1 or 2 people, and they won't consider it a mass shooting. So just imagine how much higher this number is and the shootings that they're not even considering. Okay? It says, this weekend's mass shootings come as the country mourns the victims of its deadliest mass shooting this year. Days earlier, 11 people were killed in a shooting in Lewiston, Maine. And like I said, right, I went over that shooting in Maine and I said, right, watch this judgment turn up. Right, watch these mass shootings become a daily occurrence. Okay, we're seeing it happen. We're seeing the world go to shit. Right, the beginning of the end is at hand. I think the point has been established on that, right? I was going to go into it. Texas, Indiana, Florida, Illinois, Georgia, Kansas, Maryland, New Mexico, Louisiana, and Ohio. In all these states, you had mass shootings. And it goes into it here, right? Crazy, right? Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai, hey, he don't play when it comes to these pagan days, right? He's gonna come out here and judge. Right? He has those spirits created for vengeance, right? Read that scripture. But let's get back to the scriptures. Let's go to Proverbs. Or actually, let's get Amos first. To tie with what we just read. Amos chapter 5. Amos chapter 5 and verse 21, it says, I despise your feast days, and I will not smell in your solemn assemblies. Okay, and this is nothing but another feast day, another solemn assembly, another pagan day that Jake follows, that Jake goes after, right? Another wicked day. And Yahweh Hashem Yahushai hates that, right? Because he told us we're not supposed to be doing that, and we still do it, okay? It says, though ye offer me burnt offerings and your meat offerings, I will not accept them. Neither will I regard the peace offerings of your fat beasts. Take thou away from me the noise of thy songs, for I will not hear the melody of thy vows. But let judgment run down as waters, and righteousness as a mighty stream. Okay, that's exactly what we just read right here. Okay, a harsh judgment, right, it's going rampant, right? It's going like a hurricane, man. Harsh judgment is abounding, okay? 11 dead and 76 injured all over the states. And that's not even including, like I said, right, all these small killings here and there, right? You count those, I bet it's 30, 40, right? No, 11 dead, right? 30, 40 dead for sure, okay? Like he said, man, one more time. But let judgment run down as waters and righteousness as a mighty stream, right? Because when Yahweh Bahashem Yahushai is out here murking, right, left and right, these people for following these ways, ultimately he's justified, right? He's justified because he told us, you're not supposed to be doing it, right? He told us, follow my way, right? Do what I've told you, right? Walk in my path. But we didn't listen, right? The nation of Israel is referred to as a stubborn, stiff-necked, rebellious nation, okay? Completely through and hates righteousness, right? Let's get that. That's Jeremiah chapter 4. In verse 22, it says, for my people is foolish, they have not known me. They are sottish children, and they have none understanding. They are wise to do evil, but to do good, they have no knowledge. Okay? Hey, here it is. You have Jake going out here trick-or-treating, putting on their costumes. Right? The thing about Jake is that, hey, Jake goes to the extreme. Right? You go see Jake out here, right, full on in Bugs Bunny costume, right, running around in all fours, man. Right? Really putting the part. Okay, out here eating raw carrots. Okay, Jake is like that, right? Because Jake, right, as it says, they're wise to do evil, right? They go above and beyond because that's just our nature, right? We are above all other nations, and when we do something, hey, we do it to the T. We do it to perfection, right? When Jake is in wickedness, hey, he does wickedness better than Esau, okay? Because we're just like that, right? But as it says, they are wise to do evil, but to do good, they have no knowledge, right? Our people hate knowledge also. And ultimately, that's just a lot to play in, right? They have no understanding, right? They don't even know why they're doing these acts, why they're celebrating these holidays, but they're still going to do it, right? And the reason for that is because they're playing out their lot, right? You have people in this world that are supposed to be blinded, right? Romans 11 and verse 7. Okay, goes into how the elect have obtained it and the rest were blinded. There's people out here that they're going to be celebrating Christmas, Halloween, to the day that they catch a missile. Okay, so just knowing that, right, understanding what I'm saying, understanding what's going on, the true gospel, get it right, man, and stop celebrating these wicked days, right? It's that simple, Okay, as he says, man, my yoke is light, right? Cast your burdens upon me, right? Because his yoke is light, right? It's very simple what he's told us to do. Okay, follow the law, statutes, and commandments to the best of your ability, right? If the Spirit's on you, feed his sheep, go out there and teach, right? And constantly abound, right? Repent, put off that old man, okay? And become a better person, become like Yahushua, right? When you boil it down, it's very simple, right? But our people make everything complicated. Okay, let's get Hosea now, hitting the same point. Hosea chapter 1. Was it 1? 4. Right, Hosea chapter 4 and verse 6, it says, my people are destroyed for lack of knowledge, because thou hast rejected knowledge. I will also reject thee, that thou shalt be no priest to me. Seeing thou hast forgotten the law of thy God, I will also forget thy children. Right, what was one of the laws of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai? Don't follow the way of the heathen. Right, but you'll tell one of these Jakes out here that, right, go up to a Jake out here in a Spider-Man outfit, right, shooting cobwebs out his hands, having the whole machine and everything. And he'll tell you, you can tell him, hey, the Lord said in the Bible you ain't supposed to be doing that. And he'll just laugh at you, he'll mock you, right, he'll shoot what? He'll shoot cobwebs at you, man. Right, because they reject that knowledge. Right, they're foolish, okay, and ultimately they hate the law, statutes, and commandments. They hate Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai, right? Because as he said, man, this is a wicked, a perverse, and adulterous generation. Okay, just like in the days of Noah, they're gonna be wicked, right, till that fire comes. Right, it's the same thing. Let's get back on the point of what I was going over. Proverbs, chapter 3. In verse 31, it says, envy thou not the oppressor, and choose none of his ways. Right, who is our biggest oppressor? Right, ultimately all these nations have oppressed us. Right, read Psalms, the 83rd chapter. Right, so we're not supposed to follow any of their ways. It's that simple. Okay, going into the same point we've been going over this entire video. Right, follow not the way of the heathen. Okay, because here it is, you'll see Jake, right, Jake will see these Edomites. Right, they have all this money, right? They have all the glitz and the glamour, and they see them out here trick or treating, right? And they say, "Oh, we want to be like that," right? Look at these people, how happy they are, right? With their kids, look, their kids are getting, they're so happy, right? With the costumes, right? Oh, we do this for the kids, right? That's what they'll tell you, right? But yeah, here you have, man, grown ass adults, man, in their 40s, 50s, with a tight ass Batman outfit. Right, cheeks hanging out, you know what I'm saying? Right, completely through, man. And they say, oh, we do it for the children. Man, your ass look like you enjoying it too, man. It's just Jake, man. Like I said, that's Jake for you. Okay? But as it says, one more time, envy thou not the oppressor, and choose none of his ways. Okay, we're not supposed to be out here acting like the other nations. That's simple. Let's see, we've hit Jeremiah 10, Leviticus 18, Proverbs 3 and 31, Leviticus 20 and 22. Let's see why I put that there. Leviticus 20 and verse 22. It says, ye shall therefore keep all my statutes and all my judgments, and do them, that the land whither I bring you to dwell in spew you not out. And ye shall not walk in the manners of the nation which I cast out before you, for they committed all these things, and therefore I abhorred them. Right? He hated them. Okay? He wasn't dealing with them because of the way they live. And ultimately, they ain't Israel. Okay? We are the apple of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai's eye. The apple of his eye. Right? His chosen. And we've been, man, I've been hitting the same point the entire lesson. Okay? But all over the Bible, it tells you the same thing. Right? But go ahead and show this to a Christian pastor. Show this to a Catholic, and he'll completely cuss you out. He'll tell you, you don't know what you're talking about. Right? That's the law of Moses. That's done away with. Okay? But ultimately, what does it say in Romans? Right, chapter 2, if I remember correctly. Right? Romans 2. Let's see if I can get that off the top. Romans 2, verse 27. Right? Romans 2 and verse 27. Right? What does it say? Nah, I was in Romans 2 and verse 27. But ultimately, hey, we are to keep the law. Right? The law is not done away with. Okay? Now I have to get that point, man. Now I have to get that point. Because establish the law. Romans 3 and 31. Almost. Romans chapter 3 and verse 30, it says, seeing it is one God which shall justify the circumcision by faith and the uncircumcision through faith, do we then make void the law through faith? God forbid. Yea, we establish the law. Right? We are to keep the law, statutes, and commandments. Right? And part of that is not following these wicked damn ways. Okay, that's simple. One more scripture. If you really want to hit the point, James, 2nd chapter is a killer. Okay? James chapter 2 in verse 17, it says, even so faith, if it hath not works, is dead, being alone. Yea, a man may say, thou hast faith, and I have works. Show me thy faith without works, and I will show thee my faith by my works. And what is part of the works? Following the law, statutes, and commandments to the best of your ability. Right? It's that simple. What is sin? The transgression of the law. What did Yahushua say? If you love me, keep my commandments. Okay? Stop sinning. So what does that imply? You keep the law to the best of your ability because we're not perfect. Okay? So, hey, it's very simple. Very simple. But these pastors, hey, they hate these scriptures, man. They hate when you hit them with the cuts. Right? Because they know ultimately that they're lying. Right? That's a harlot house. Right? The church is nothing but a harlot house and a scam. Right? Passing about, hey, that's a funny thing, right? That's a funny thing. Right? They won't keep the laws going into not eating abominable foods like pork, shrimp, lobster, and crab. Right? They'll say that's done away with. Right? But they keep the law of tithing. Right? The law of giving money to those that teach you, they keep that law. Right? It just shows how hypocritical they are. Right? Just choosing what point they want to believe and what point they don't want to believe. Okay? But let's see. Jeremiah 10, Leviticus 18, Proverbs, Leviticus, Jeremiah, Amos 5:21. Okay, so that's been the point of the lesson. I hope this is edifying. Stop celebrating the goddamn Halloween, goddamn Christmas, okay? Your birthday, New Year's, Easter, okay? And whatever pagan holidays, or holidays, because they ain't holy, pagan holidays that there is out there. Stop celebrating them, okay? Because if you keep celebrating these days, ultimately, you're gonna get posted in the news, right? You're gonna get murked, okay? Even more so if you know the right thing to do and you still don't do it. So hopefully this is edifying. With that, I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashim Yahushai, Bahashim Rakakwadash, and double honors to the outer bishops and apostles of great millstone that taught me this truth. Shalom to you, like Shalom.